All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Holger. I'm co-founder and CEO of Relu. Maybe a bit about myself. I'm a computer scientist by training, as well as extremely passionate by artificial intelligence, where there's a lot of hype about these days, and as well son of a dental and maxillofacial radiologist, and as well happened to work closely with Professor Brownemark, which we all know from the osseointegration. So I started this company together with 3 other gentlemen, just see on the photo over there. All engineers studying, we studied together different disciplines, computer science, mathematical engineering, and we said like, hey, let's make a company together. I think we all got that same virus we catch that same virus for that same passion on working on AI, and we started the company really. So we started as a service company. Just in the life sciences, and we did a couple of projects. One of these projects was for a dental research group, and we detected basically on panoramic radiographs if wisdom tooth would erupt or not, because like I think it's the most common procedure, and that was actually fairly successful. Was presented in the US, and what we didn't, it's like 4 years ago. You see, it was in Philadelphia. What we didn't realize is that, let's say, 2 months later, like a large cone beam CT manufacturer, I think the counterpart of the CT, but let's say a bit cheaper, and as well, I think more publicly available in dental and maxillofacial surgical practices, asked to do that for us in 3D. So I said, okay, cool, what a challenge. Maybe we should actually fully orient our business towards dental and maxillofacial surgery. And the problem that we got was, oh, well, you did a wonderful job on panoramic radiographs on 2D, but could you do the same for cone beam CT? And we said, oh, sure, we'll try it out. We were in contact with an oral surgeon that was as well doing a lot of tooth auto-transplantation. So we wanted to have, let's say, very accurate teeth, certainly in the apical part, to be able to perfectly 3D model and plan tooth auto-transplantations. His process to get it to that level of accuracy, to have very strong tooth auto-transplantation, was like 30 minutes. Say, okay, that's quite a challenge to get that automated. And like once there was then as well an oral surgeon that heard of like that we would start a project. So like, hey, but you know, like I need to, let's say, a very accurate modeling of the condyles for my surgeries. Wouldn't you be able to do that as well? So we got like already 2 projects. He was like spending like up to 3 hours to get it to the quality that he desired for his surgeries. So we worked very intensively on this, and we were able to reduce this like quite drastically. I think we in the end made a one-click solution. You imported the cone beam CT or the CT. Cone beam CT is a bit more sexy, as let's say there's way less standardization happening on cone beam CT compared to CT. So I'll talk about cone beam CT for now. But we got a one-click solution basically to get in 1 minute, not one tooth, but the entire dentition, because it's AI. Once you can do it once on, you can as well do it on, let's say, a lot of teeth, and as well having that mandible very, very accurate. So both his oral surgeon and his maxillofacial surgeon were extremely happy. And we said like, oh, we're onto something. By the way, that company that approached us was as well very, very excited about this. Perhaps we should look further. And we found a lot of other structures that are often, let's say, often being modeled for surgeries. Think of nerves. Think of the skull for, I think like for patient-specific implants. Think of sinuses, maxillary sinuses. Think of registering multiple modalities. Think of airways, as well we've seen with SimQ, the OSA, and think of maybe crowns on the intraoral scan for instance, fitting tooth-borne guides. And we worked very hard on this. We as well made, we in fact facilitated a one-click solution. Let's say in 7 minutes, you would have a very, very accurate digital twin, digital replica of a patient, containing his sinuses, containing his skull, containing his mandible. In this case as well, let's say it's superimposed with the intraoral scan. So if there's artifacts in the teeth area, thanks to the many different things that people put on teeth, then you would have still very accurate crowns and as well, let's say, gingiva available. So then, of course, wow, now we have, let's say, made something that would take normally, let's say, hundreds, let's say, thousands of minutes. We have now, let's say, put that in a 7-minute process. The question is, let's say, making such a technology, what are the opportunities available? The one that we are mainly focusing on at this moment is trying to leverage it for treatment solutions. Think of, let's say, planning. You want to do like a maxillofacial surgery treatment. You could do, I think, today design engineers would model it, for instance, and then you would, let's say, plan the treatment afterwards. Now the design part of, let's say, the modeling part is already done, and you can start directly thinking about, let's say, surgery and design of cutting guides, whatever. And as well, directly simulate. I think SimQ as well has the one, let's say, basically one-click solution for simulation. So that goes hand in hand. I think the main applications that we are currently targeting is orthodontics, CMF, and implant dentistry. And as well, patient communication, just giving that patient an entirely new experience of, like, in a very explainable way, knowing what is going to happen before starting that procedure. As well, that's something that is something that is being unlocked with this technology and research. I think we heard about the digital twins, the virtual patients, like not maybe 10, but thinking of like 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 patients that you suddenly need to treat, or let's say for a clinical trial would need to treat or like examine. Yeah, I think with this type of algorithm, like it's basically 10,000 patients are modeled in, let's say, an hour. So that as well unlocks a lot of new opportunities for clinical trials, or like both, let's say, in early stages as well as in post-market surveillances. So now you know about the technology, you know about, let's say, the potential opportunities. Maybe you're interested, like, can I use this? Is this how would this work? Well, we're seeing, let's say, our company is a bit of a foundational AI company, meaning like we love seeing multiple applications happening with it. Therefore, we made it pretty open. So for the technology very savvy ones, you can just use an API and say, like, here's my comb UCT, here's my intraoral scan, here's my facial scan. We'll make the model for you, or you have, let's say, a web app, let's say browser-based, zero footprint, where you can, let's say, have like a nice user interface instead of a programming interface to interact with the software. Who's using it? I think both engineers from multiple software companies in dentistry and maxillofacial surgery that are including it in existing products to level it up, to speed up their existing processes, or even startups that are making totally new products. But as well, we are as well approaching key opinion leaders, and they are approaching us to make, let's say, try new ways of working together. And we're as well making design engineers happy that, let's say, otherwise would have spent maybe half an hour, maybe multiple hours on a certain anatomical part that's currently automated. So many different people with impact. Of course, it's all nice said. What is the validation of this? Is there evidence? So compliance is covered for Europe, at least. They are 15K spending. As well, we did quite some research before rolling this out. More over 15 papers, I think, or maybe even like in 20 papers, validating this technology. And we have quite some users, more than 3,000 at this point. Majority in Europe, but let's say as well, US is, let's say, is a close second. So thank you so much for allowing me to bring our story. If you want to try it out yourself, you can either scan that cute QR code or just surf to Relu.eu. And happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
We have 5 minutes for some questions. I do like the little mini T-Rex you can see.
Credits to Google.
Any questions?
Which kind of applications do we have in the intended use of the product? So which applications can you directly address? It's just kind of a modeling tool for that, or is it directed towards a certain clinical application?
It's, let's say, the intended use for let's say, as a medical device. So indeed, it's oriented towards modeling for applications within dentistry and maxillofacial surgery. So it's pretty broad. So there's no, it's not like for one specific treatment. So let's say it is intended to support a lot of different applications.
But just as a modeling tool, which then has to be taken into some clinical applications, like a CT is also done for general purpose modeling part, but not the clinical application directly.
Yes, I think both.
Yeah.
Did you envision to adapt your technology to other anatomical regions, or do you focus on CMF?
I would say the other anatomical regions are very fascinating, and I think definitely if we grow, we'd like to grow into these. However, I think let's say being junior entrepreneur, I learned a hard lesson of focus. So I think I put all my resources behind the head area. Like, and if we grow and we have like a solid 10 million revenue, perhaps we can grow to other fields. But first, the head area.
We have time. One more question, we have time?
Did you also try it on tumor-affected mandibles or defect mandibles that reoperated?
So in these cases, we will just segment. Let's say mandible is swollen. For instance, we will still segment the anatomical contours, but we will not say, hey, there was a tumor inside, because that would be, I think, would be a bit more complicated from a regulatory point of view. However, I think these are closer in the future that we will work on these things perhaps in other anatomical regions. So to be expected.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.